Hello guys, Greg back with another video for you. So if any of you saw my recent haul video, I briefly spoke about 4 fragrances from a house called Monotheme. Monotheme is an Italian house which predominantly sell their fragrances through Marks and Spencer's in the UK, which is a department store. They've recently released 4 new EDPs under a range called the Black Label range. All the fragrances are inspired by Eastern oils and spices, basically like from the cultures of the Orient is what they're inspired by. So I picked this one to review. You can see it's called Leather. 2 reasons I've picked this one. One, it's by far the standout of the 4 for me, but the main reason being it's had an awful lot of comparison recently in the fragrance community to Tom Ford's Tuscan Leather. So I've been wearing this a lot for the last 2 or 3 weeks. I'm going to review this one on its own merit, but I'm also going to talk about the comparisons and what I think. So first of all, let's have a quick look at the presentation. A very nice, classy looking box, black and orange. You've got Monotheme Fine Fragrances Venetia. Let's focus a little bit. There you go. Now, what I really like about this is, and I'm not sure how much the camera picks it up, but behind the black cardboard there is decoration that's almost sitting back, almost like a hologram effect on the box. Not sure how well the camera picked that up. It's not focusing particularly well. Let's have a look at the bottle. There we go, that's better. So all of the Black Label fragrances have got this black and orange theme, and again this is what I was talking about on the box that sits there. You can see it better on the bottle. I really like this part. It's just extra touches that make things better for me. Monotheme on the glass. You've got batch code on the bottom there. Plastic cap, a very strong plastic cap. I'm really squeezing that. You can see it doesn't move, it's solid. Plastic sprayer, let's give it a quick spritz. I'm not sure how well you saw that, but it's kind of like a half spray, which is perfect for this fragrance because it's very strong. So one sort of half spray is just right. Well, not one spray, I never spray one spray of anything, but you get what I mean. So really nice presentation, and when I talk a bit more about how much this costs, you'll see again a little bit more why I'm so impressed by it. So official notes. Right, let's have a look at the box because it saves me trying to memorise. There you go, notes are printed on there. Leather, saffron from Spain, incense, cedarwood, French labdanum resin and Moroccan leather. And that is pretty much what you get from the fragrance, but I've been wearing this a lot and I've really dug into it and tried to dissect it, so I'll tell you exactly what I get from it. So at the top you do get hit with a strong burst of sort of really smoky incense fused leather, and you get lots of spices at the top as well. Then when you move into the mid you get cedar, and also there's some fruits and some florals in there, but both of those are very light, almost not detectable. But what they do is they kind of just slightly tame and rein in that leather, which is really strong, and just calms it down just a little bit. When you move into the base, there's a lot of woods in there, lots of resin and some vanilla. When I spoke about this fragrance in the haul video, I did say that it took a real vanilla turn. Having worn it a little bit more, it's actually not as prominent as I thought initially. There is a real resinous accord in the base, and that's basically coming from the labdanum that's in there. Now labdanum can smell like many different things to many different people, from smoke to leather to tobacco. Some people get chocolate. Usually it's medicinal or animalic sort of smell that people get. In terms of this fragrance, the labdanum really just backs up the smoky and leather accords and just adds some resinous feeling to it. So I've described some sort of changes within the fragrance and some transitions, but that said, it is actually very linear, and unless you're really studying this fragrance, which I have been, you probably wouldn't pick up much change in it. So let's talk about comparisons to Tom Ford Tuscan Leather. Let's just first of all say this fragrance is very good, but if you're going to compare it to a masterpiece, in my opinion, like Tuscan Leather, it's going to be very hard for it to win in any area, and to be honest, it doesn't match up for me. Tuscan Leather has a really great raspberry note in there, which may sound like one note and very simple, but it's what makes the fragrance, in my opinion. It's a bit of genius perfumery. Tuscan leather does develop and it becomes more of a kind of sweet and creamy fragrance, whereas the Monotheme one, what you get at the start is pretty much what you get. It's strong, smoky leather from start to finish, and it's more harsh. It doesn't, the fruits and the florals don't tame it down in the same way that the raspberry does in the Tuscan leather. I would say this is like a Diet Coke version of Tuscan leather. It's missing some of the really tasty bits, but it is good, and it's always going to lose a battle against that fragrance. So smell and occasion for this, best suited for upscale occasions really. It's suit and tie, same as I would suggest for Tuscan leather as well. It's a fragrance that will probably divide opinion, so it's probably not a good work scent, because obviously in a work environment, obviously you're more likely to be close to people for a long period of time. Where this one's magic, in my opinion, is when you just glide past someone, or you're in someone's presence for 10-20 seconds and it leaves that fantastic leather smell. That's where it's magic, and people smell it and think, wow, that's great, where did that come from? Probably not so much if you've got a fair bit of this on and you're with someone for 6-7 hours. It may become a bit overpowering, especially if they don't like it, and leather fragrances do divide opinion. For the same reason, it's probably not a good first date scent, because it's a 50-50 as to whether somebody's going to, on the date with you, is going to like this one. I always talk about comparisons. We've already really covered that. This will get compared to any strong leather based fragrance, but yeah, Tuscan leather is the closest match, I think, and there are a lot of similarities on it for sure. Performance wise, I'll get 8 to 10 hours out of this, in terms of total longevity. Projection's moderate really, 2 or 3 hours of really what I would consider good projection. Compare it with Tuscan leather, I get 24 hours at least of total longevity, and it projects all day. But again, as I said, it's not going to match up to that fragrance, which by no means that it's a poor fragrance, because it's not. It's very good. Price wise, this is where this one is fantastic. Okay, so this 100ml EDP is £22. In fact, I bought it for £18 because there's often discounts on in the stores. It's about 30 bucks, something like that, for 100ml EDP. So that is around a tenth, slightly less than a tenth of the cost of the same volume in Tuscan leather. Unless you really are a fanatical fragrance person, I'm not sure that price difference is justified. You'd have to absolutely love Tuscan leather to buy a full bottle over this. Now, availability. This Marks and Spencer's do ship to the US, but I have been told by a few people on Facebook that they don't ship fragrances. Can't vouch for that, whether it's true, but it sounds like that's the case. So this could be quite difficult to get hold of in the US. What you're going to have to do is, someone's going to have to be on holiday in the UK, get in touch with one of us UK Fragcon guys, and we'll sort it out a batch, and you can take it back and sort everybody out. So I'm going to summarise what I think about this, and I've really covered most of it. Unless you're a real frag head that can detect real subtle differences, and those subtle differences are the key thing for you, I would say do what I did. Buy this fragrance and then buy a decant of Tuscan leather. So I've got 10ml decant of Tuscan leather, which is a real special occasion one, and then I bought this. Jay, whose channel is Fragrance Wires, hit the nail on the head when he was talking about Tuscan leather, in that it's a fragrance that you're not going to wear that often. It's not something you find at many occasions. So rather than spend all the full amount on a full bottle of that product, buy a decant first, see how you get on. If you absolutely love it and you're wearing it a lot, then you go and buy a full bottle, and you've got your answer. But from my point of view, that 10ml decant is still a lot left in it, so I've made the right choice in opting for a full bottle of this and a decant of the Tuscan leather, for now anyway. So finally, I'm going to rate it. Longevity wise, although it doesn't compare to Tuscan leather, it's still very good, 8 out of 10. Projection and sillage, moderate, I'll give it 7.5 out of 10 for that. Value, cannot argue with £22 for 100ml EDP that is that close to Tuscan leather. So 10 out of 10 for value. Smell, overall smell, it is very, very nice, 8 out of 10, and the overall marks are 8 out of 10. Now, just before I finish, I do think there are differences, and I can definitely tell differences. My wife cannot tell the difference at all between the two fragrances. If you put them both on at the same time, she doesn't know the difference. So take from that what you will. If I smell them both, I smell quite a lot of difference. But there you go. So that's the end of the review, guys. Hope I didn't ramble too much. Thanks as always for watching, really appreciate it. Please leave your comments, please rate, comment and subscribe, and I will see you very soon with another video. Cheers.